I mean, we always say that sex sells or bad news sells, but I think he has also proven that humor sells.
Mhm.
People buy it.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Kingspiration Podcast. This is the place where you'll learn how to get unstuck and gain momentum in your life and business. Each week, we tackle the real aspects of entrepreneurship, personal development, relationships, and fitness. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures, sharing wisdom and experiences to propel you forward. Welcome to Kingspiration. Let's start the conversation.
All right, welcome to another episode. And on this episode, Ethan is about to give me a lesson. He's just been having a laugh at me because I said I don't know too much about Marvel and all the characters and all the movies and the whole Marvel story too much. And he's just been shaking his head. So, Ethan, I need you to school me a little bit.
So first of all, Justin is like the only person on earth who hasn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. So let's talk about this for a minute, because it's more than just the movie. There's so much underlying, there's so many business lessons here. Well, first of all, as of right now, I'm looking at this chart, and out of all, Deadpool and Wolverine has grossed over $1.1 billion in the box office. Now, the number one movie of top lifetime grossing movies is Avatar, with $2.9 billion grossed. But Avatar came out in 2009. So that's 15 years ago.
15 years.
Yeah. And Deadpool and Wolverine is already almost at half of that. And it just came out this year. So what made it so great? Because Deadpool, now on its third movie for the character, Deadpool in the comics was really just kind of a side character. Like nobody ever really took him seriously. He wasn't like a main part of the Avengers and all of that. But let's talk about the business sense of Ryan Reynolds in making Deadpool into the franchise it has become, into his multi-billion-dollar franchise. He is, to me, an understated genius.
Midas touch. Midas
touch.
100%.
But there's, he seems like this silly guy who just kind of, tells jokes, but he's really, really smart and very strategic in every move that he makes. So he has Mint Mobile. Have you heard of Mint Mobile?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Has he exited it? Did he exit Mint Mobile? Or is he still involved?
I'm not sure. Let me look up Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds. It says he's an owner. No, he's an owner of it. Yeah. Oh no, here we go. This is more recent. He sold it for $1.35 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And he had his gin brand.
A gym? Like a workout gym?
Gin?
Oh, gin.
I think he had gin, or was it gin or whiskey? He had an alcohol brand, didn't he?
Let me see.
And then there was...
Yeah, wow. So he...
Aviation gin.
Sold Aviation gin for $610 million.
Yeah. And then Rexton United was his football club.
Yeah, he has a soccer team.
Ethan, what do you think the catalyst was? Because he also had, and maybe this also ties in so nicely to the entrepreneurial spirit, he had such a failure with, wasn't it Green Lantern?
Yeah. And you know what? This is kind of a tangent here, but I think it's part of Ryan Reynolds' secret sauce is his ability to make fun of himself. And I think that's also what Deadpool as a character, if you look at every movie, he really puts himself down a lot. And that makes him a very likable character. And I think Ryan Reynolds, at the end of Deadpool, I think it was Deadpool 2, he shot Green Lantern in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So it's very, a classic scene, right? He's like, as soon as I get a time machine, I'm going to go back and kill the Green Lantern version of myself because that was so horrible. But I mean, just the ability to, the self-deprecating humor, the ability to take yourself lightly, and the self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is a superpower to know when something bombed and it's like, okay, how do I best take advantage of this situation? And that was hilarious, him killing himself off because he knew Green Lantern bombed. I actually I don't know. I'm just a fanboy. I never really
Mm.
thought that much about Ryan Reynolds until I saw Deadpool. His ability to tap into pop culture. And I mean, the opening credits of Deadpool, he's catching on to a trend with that. Was it the NSYNC? He's like doing this dance routine to the NSYNC song as he's killing all these people. And it's hilarious and it's on point. It's on trend. There are a bunch of cameos in the movie that give a lot of fan service to Marvel fans. And I mean, really just, I mean, I don't want to spoil any of it, but there's some surprise characters that pop up in the movie.
Yeah.
And he just really, really impressed me with this. And I think obviously impressed a lot of people. So I'm trying to extract every business lesson that I can from someone, because he could just be an actor, right? But he's leveraged this into so many other different things.
Yeah. I mean, we always say that sex sells or bad news sells, but I think he has also proven that humor sells.
Mm-hmm.
People buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Because in every single, I mean, if I think of his Mint Mobile ads, his aviation gin ads, I haven't watched the Rexton United documentary, which I believe is unbelievable as well. And then obviously Deadpool is hilarious, but everything is tied in. It's an extension of his persona, his personality to a degree, because the humor is all on point. So people are buying him as much as they are buying his product. And I think that's what he's leveraged really well.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. So Ryan, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have you as a guest on the show. Yeah, I haven't really nerded out on something this much before, but lots of respect for his business acumen and self-awareness and really leveraging his personal brand, which I think is something that, we all kind of aspire to do, especially if you're in business. I think that's a winning key, is knowing how to leverage your personal brand.
Yeah.
Something I talk about in my book, and this makes me think of it, like how many brands have a face, some type of character. If it's not the owner, there's some type of mascot, because we identify with a character, right? Like maybe you could think of something in South Africa, but we have, in the US, we have Wendy's, and it's the girl Wendy, and she's kind of this snarky personality on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then you have this insurance company, Progressive Insurance, and they have this lady named Flo, who's the character. And even if you think of iconic brands like Apple, I mean, Steve Jobs was the face of the brand. Yeah. And even though he's passed away, people still kind of identify him with Apple more than, who is it? Tim Cook, who's the current CEO.
Tim Cook. That's him.
Yeah. I never even think about Tim Cook. I still think about Steve Jobs. Yeah. So in your business, can you think of businesses that have been successful? I mean, Ryan Reynolds is obviously, he obviously is aware of that and has leveraged it. But I give a whole chart of examples in my book, ChatGPT to Double Your Business in 90 Days. But I think every business needs a face of some sort. And
I suppose that to a degree, that's also where thought leadership comes from. And I think that's been a buzzword around the entrepreneurial space for quite some time now, needing to be a thought leader in your space. And maybe it's really just being less about thought leadership and more about just owning your brand and making sure that you champion what it is that you're providing. Like, in what way can you do that? I think a lot of people get caught up in thinking thought leadership, I need to be super articulate and ultra smart. Fair. But what personality or characteristics can you leverage that really people will buy into and that you can use as the face of the brand or the service or the product that you take to market? People buy. What business is just people doing stuff with other people. That's right. It's P2P, not B2B.
P2P.
Or P2P.
Right. Yeah. People ask in my workshops and stuff when I'm teaching AI, I'll be like, well, does this apply to just B2C businesses, or can it work for B2B businesses also? And that's always my answer. I say, every business is people to people, because even if you're B2B, at the other end of that decision-making process is a person who's making that decision. So if you think about people first, I mean, I think that is a winning strategy. That's a wrap for today's episode of Kingspiration. We hope this conversation sparked insights to ignite action in your life and business.
We're on this journey together, sharing our challenges and successes to help all of us take the next step towards building momentum and ultimately reaching our goals.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone else who might benefit and leave us a 5-star review.
And remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly conversations. Until next time, keep rolling, keep growing, and keep being inspired.